Turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. Turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. Dom beat. 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 Turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. Turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle.
All right, what's up, Turtle Riders? How are we all doing out there tonight? Good. Welcome to the show. I just went ahead and I shared this to the the Facebook pages, the Clarence Woods Emerson page, as well as the Turtleboy Sports Forever page. So do me a favor, go on there, share it up. I've also tweeted it out on Twitter at Real Uncle TB. That's at Real Uncle TB on Twitter. Been on fire Twitter the last few days. I gained like a few hundred followers. I got out some retweets and stuff like that. The story today is one of the reasons why. But the Monica Canning Grant one as well. So definitely, if you're on there, I don't know how long I'm going to last on Twitter. I've had a 12-hour ban already. I feel like I'm on borrowed time here, if you will. So I'm also on Parler for that reason. If you guys aren't on Parler yet, get on there. I got over 1,000 followers on there, and some good interaction over there too. So get over there, and I'm going to go ahead and share it on Parler right now. On Parler, I'm at Turtleboy because I'm like it's a new freaking social media app. So you got dibs on Turtleboy. So go over there, give it a follow, give it a share, and smash that like button. How many likes we up to already? I always like to get up to try to break that hundo mark. Well, we got over 100 followers right now. So how many likes we got? 41. Okay, so we got to work on that. All right, so that's that. Anything else I'm forgetting? Oh, yeah, if you feel generous, if you want to donate to the program, it's always appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and, boom, share that live right now because, the kind of stories that I'm into, that I like reporting on, are the kind of stories that get canceled over. So I've quickly learned from this all. I should have thought of this a long time ago, that the way to survive in this world is just not have advertisers. It kind of works out. It's a lot less stressful that way. But then again, that kind of depends on your generosity. So I greatly appreciate anything and all. I've shared the link in there. And that's that. All right. So without further ado, how's everybody doing tonight? Good. We have, I want to talk about tonight the situation that's been developing with another race baiter. They come at you so fast, don't they? I mean, this is 2 in 1 week. First time I've ever done like 2 exposés in 1 week. Spent a lot of time. I've been watching this Talbert Swan douchebag for quite some time. Let me pull him up here. There he is. Okay. Oh. Talbot Swan is, I've written about him before, years ago, I think once. He came up in like a Springfield City Council blog once. And some people have been telling me about Talbot Swan. He's hard to miss if you're on Twitter, right? If you follow Donald Trump on Twitter, he's impossible to miss because he's he's what we call a Trump reply guy. Trump reply guys are the people. Oh, wait, I don't even have it up. There it is. All right. So Trump reply guys are the people who get, updates on their phone every time Trump tweets because they want to be like the first person to respond to him. They're all liberals. They all respond and they make a name for themselves just by, tweeting out what an asshole Trump is all the time. He's a Trump reply guy. He's obsessed with Donald Trump. But he's also a quote-unquote bishop. I don't even know what that even means, but there ain't nothing religious about this guy. He is one of the biggest con artists I've ever seen. And Black Lives Matter has really opened the door for con artists, particularly con artists of color. You couldn't really, it's hard to be a con if you're white in this game. But the beauty of being black right now in this country is that you can scare the shit out of white people, like especially liberal white people consumed with white guilt. All you got to do is just yell racism. That's it. It's it. And white people will just jump in line because they feel like they have to. They feel like they owe it to you, you know, because of the slavery and the Jim Crow and all that good stuff. Well, not good stuff, that bad stuff. But they feel like they owe it to you. So Talbert Swan has mastered the art of this. He's from Springfield, a real shithole if you've never been out there. Just a terrible, terrible place. And there he is with Al Sharpton. I mean, need I say more? I mean, Al Sharpton invented the game of, you know, using race baiting to make a good living and evading taxes and stuff like that. But Turtle Boy really doesn't get enough credit because we discovered, like 5 years ago when we first started, we discovered the racism industrial complex. That's a term I coined. And I started realizing right away that racism's big money, man. Every time a black person's killed by the police, why is it such a big deal? Well, they know deep in their heart of hearts that, like, these are rare events, right? There's no such thing as systemic killing of black people by cops. It happened. 9 unarmed black people were killed by police last year. It's a huge con. And these people know that. But they also realize that, like, they can make big money if they present themselves as the cure to the non-existent disease. They just have to sell the public that it's a disease. And then you sell the cure. You are the cure. Basically just going on Twitter all day and talking about this and yelling about police. That's the cure. So there's Talbert Swan. And he is the head of the NAACP in Springfield. He also owns or is the pastor at a church. And here's some typical Talbert Swan tweets. This is about some guy. He calls him little insecure white bigot, still playing Klansman in my mentions. Newsflash, you obtuse, racist, crusty mayo packet. Mayo packet. The days of black men looking down, yassa bossing, and talking ish from trash like you, trying to look tough in front of your fellow crossburners, been over. Okay. I didn't expect a pasty, mayonnaise-dripping, middle-aged saltine to understand the elegance of and beauty of black women. Your white woman obviously does, which is why she gets injections in her baloney lips, implants in her pancake derriere, tans and weaves, trying to look black. So I guess this guy is he obviously, whoever this guy is, he went on his profile. He saw he had a white wife that whatever. He's like, you look. I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of funny, but I don't know. I'd have a hard time imagining the priest of my church going online and saying stuff like this because, he's not a fucking religious leader. He went to online pastor school. They all did. They all just went like Sarai Rivera. You ever notice they're all fucking pastors, right? What does that even mean? You're a pastor. All because they realize that pastor is the way that you become politically influential in leftist circles, particularly in black leftist circles. Martin Luther King, what was his job? Well, Martin Luther King was a pastor, of course, right? John Lewis, R.I.P. John Lewis was in school to become a pastor. And because being the pastor in the black community, you have to understand that churches were historically the places where pastors talk politics, right? It was the place where black people could all come together and congregate and talk about their issues because they were completely separate, distinct issues from white people because of segregation, right? So their issues were different. So the church became the political meeting place in the black community. And people like Talbert Swan are still trying to hold on to that. And he realizes that. So he's like, I got to go to pastor school. I got to become a bishop, quote unquote. And I got to, pretend that I give a shit about God or religion or any of that shit. And just use it to, become politically prominent and then cash them checks. That's all it is. And we saw it with Mosaic a few years ago. There were Sarai Rivera was your pastor, right? And all these people would just come in and talk about racism and structural racism, and let's just talk about racism. And of course, the favorite line they all love to say, we need to have a conversation, y'all. We need to have a conversation, y'all. That's all you got to say. We need to have a conversation. That conversation, by the way, never ends. It is a repetitive conversation. It's already taken place. Every time they say we need to have a conversation, we had a conversation. It wasn't really so much a conversation as it was you lecturing me about buzzwords like systemic equality and stuff like that. It means absolutely nothing, of course. So here he is. Here's some other things that Bishop Talbert Swan has said. Now, this is a typical thing he says to Trump. So Trump shares a Dan Crenshaw video. Crenshaw is a United States congressman who lost his eye serving his country overseas. And he says about Crenshaw to Donald Trump. So this is like a typical reply. You are the one-eyed, you and the one-eyed bandit in the video are nothing but partisan, inhumane, gaslighting liars making light of the deaths of 40,000 Americans for political purposes. You're evil and disgusting. You racist, degenerate son of a Klansman. Like, this is what he does all day. He got kicked off of Twitter 2 years ago, temporarily for like a couple weeks, because he tweeted at somebody said, you should follow Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a black conservative woman. He goes, no thanks. I'm on a no coon diet. Coon is a racial slur that only black people are allowed to use when speaking about other black people. And the other black people they're talking about are black conservatives always. People that have the audacity to not get in line. And, I've said this before, I'll say it again. There's nobody I feel more bad for than black conservatives in this country, because black conservatives get it worse than anybody else, right? As bad as I get it as a white conservative, they expect that from me. Like, this is they expect nothing less. They already look at me as irredeemable anyway. Like, he's, I'll never convince that guy he's just a racist white guy. Obviously it's not true, but it's just what they say. But with black people, you are expected, unlike any other race, to get in line. You have to get in line. You must follow the company policy. You must believe in this Black Lives Matter cult nonsense. You must believe that you're persecuted, that you're oppressed, and all of this stuff. And if you have the audacity to believe that you are an independent person, capable of independent thought, and that you are allowed to have independent opinions, then you are no use to them. They will call you a coon. That's what they're going to call. They call it cooning. Jason Whitlock gets it a lot. Larry Elder gets it. You name it. Any conservative black person is going to get that treatment. So here's some other things he says about Trump. You vile, racist, white supremacist. What the hamburger do you know about the black community? Our eyes have been wide open regarding arrogant bigots like you and self-loathing coons who sell their people out to associate with the likes of you. So he's calling Kanye a coon. Okay, that's wonderful. He obviously had some strong opinions about this whole Florista Fuentes thing. And we talked about this on the live show. David the Druid and I did this weekend. Florista Fuentes is this smoking hot former Springfield police detective. A lot of stories out of Springfield lately, huh? And I got more on Springfield coming too. Believe it or not, there's another city councilor who's actually worse than all of the ones that we've talked about. We'll get to him later. But Florista Fuentes was a rookie police detective who got her job because she's a single mom. And the chief wanted to be flexible and give her some hours that she could work. She had no business being a cop. She's just a ratchet with a badge. And she tweeted out this picture that says, "Shoot the fuck back." She's like, "My niece, Kayla Martinez," and puts a heart. All right. And so, of course, Talbert Swan has her back. Talbert Swan was also at Nathan Bill's restaurant. And I want to talk about this for a moment. This is the most absurd thing I've ever seen. Nathan Bill's, I guess, is a cop bar. It's a controversial cop bar. There was an incident, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, in which several Springfield police officers were either charged with or investigated for kicking the shit out of a guy. And I don't know all the details to that. I'm not even going to comment on it. But it's the fact that because I don't know the details, I won't comment on it. Put it that way. It's not that I'm afraid to. It's like I don't comment on things that I'm not as familiar with. So Nathan Bill's bar, because of their association with that incident, has been labeled as like a cop bar, and thus Black Lives Matter hates it. They're targeting it. Now, this sign has been up at Nathan Bill's since they've been open, and it's literally a pretty standard sign at any bar that anybody's ever worked at a bar could probably tell you about. Oh, I'm not even on it. Crap. I'm on the wrong. I'm not even scrolling down right, am I? God damn it. All right. So there's the Kayla Martinez thing. There's the sign. Okay. So here's the sign right here. Dress code. The dress code clearly says on there, right? Nathan Bill's requires clean, appropriate clothing at all times. Management reserves the right to modify the dress code for any, including special events. No plain white tees. That to me seems fair, right? Why would you want to? If you've ever woken up in the morning and be like, you know what I'm going to wear today? I'm going to wear my oversized white tee, right? You're a loser. Like, you're going absolutely nowhere in life. There's no reason to wear an oversized white t-shirt. They're quite popular, right? In, drug dealing communities and stuff like that. And communities that, bring down property value. That's not saying black people. I want to make that clear. White people that wear oversized white t-shirts look absurd as well. It's just what it is. No gang colors. That seems pretty solid. Like, schools don't allow gang colors. Why should a place that serves liquor? Ripped, torn, or soil or solid clothing generally prohibited. Okay, seems standard. Hoods. I mean, who goes to you're going out to a bar? Why would you wear a hooded sweatshirt out to a bar? Like, you're supposed to try a little bit. Get dressed up a little bit. You know what I mean? Do-rags. Why would you wear a do-rag out? Bandanas, headbands. Sunglasses. Like, who wears sunglasses? You're a freaking douchebag if you wear sunglasses out. No excessively low or baggy pants that show a person's undergarments. I mean, this is standard. You are not making a crisscross video from 1994, right? Just don't dress like that, period. That's not being racist. That's being like, we're trying to class it up it's a privately owned establishment. I want to class it up a little bit. And it's really not asking for that much. You could wear jeans still. You can still wear, baggy clothing is no longer even in. I don't even know why they even need that anymore. But it's really not that much demand. But let's see. Talbert Swan and other community leaders says that this is Nathan Bill, an establishment frequented by cops. There's the real reason they hate it. 14 current and former cops, including the owner and manager, were indicted by the Attorney General's office for brutally beating. Now, see, again, I don't know the whole story. Okay. But he says the sign may as well read, no N-words allowed. If that incident had not taken place at Nathan Bill's, they wouldn't give a shit about this. They wouldn't give a shit about this. Why? Because this is a pretty standard dress code that almost every bar in America has. I would assume you wouldn't allow do-rags in your bar no matter what bar I go to. The vast majority of bars would not allow you to wear a goddamn do-rag inside. That looks absurd. Or gang colors. Come on. They go down there and they protest this man of the cloth. He's so offended by this. I mean, what kind of pastor writes that? No N-words allowed. What? First of all, it's racist to assume that black people are going to be more inclined or predisposed to wear gang colors in the first place. It's also assuming that, like, black people don't have the capability to get dressed up. Is that what you're saying, Pastor? Because you seem to dress quite fine. You don't wear do-rags, do you, Pastor? Bishop. That's right. Because you see these people that do dress like that, and you're like, I can use these dumb motherfuckers. I can convince them that they're somehow oppressed, that they can't wear their gang colors out, that they're a victim of racism if they're not allowed to wear that out. But he doesn't dress like that. So what's he talking about? So they go down there and him and Justin Hurst, the president of the city council, who has decided that the city clerk who told the police chief to shut the fuck up, bitch, on a Zoom call, and then blamed it on her cousin. He believed she's telling the truth. That's Justin Hurst. he covers for people who are ideologically in the same corner as him. That city clerk, by the way, of course, is black, and so is Justin Hurst. Then you add, who else was down there? Oh, Adam Gomez, your resident Springfield gangbanger counselor. Perfectly normal to have a gang member on the city council. Like legitimately a fucking Latin king is serving on the Springfield City Council. Appearing in rap videos 7 years ago. Guys with guns, heads in the face with cocaine. That's normal. So they're all down there. They're protesting this sign. They're so offended by this. These are deeply moral people who are so offended by the fact that you can't wear gang colors to a privately owned bar. And what does this bitch ass bar owner, Robbie Gossman, do? What does he do? He caves to them. Not only does he agree to take it down, he reads off a script about how this country has a long history of systemic racism. Oh, it's so scary. Systemic racism. And he must make amends for this. Because guess why? Because Talbert Swan told him, you need to pay up. Saying sorry is not enough. So he's paying $6,500 so the city can deface its own streets with the words Black Lives Matter. That's how he can make up for it. I mean, literally, he's a con artist. He's like, it's not enough just to get this white boy to pay. To get him to apologize. I know I can get that out of him. I'll just call him racist. But this motherfucker, we got to get some money out of him too. That's how they see everything. The character of Clay Davis on The Wire, like that's very real. That is very real depiction of how, certain members and honestly, I mean, they're shitheads. I'm here to call them out, but I can't hate on them too much because they figured out how to make money on this system, right? There's a void to be filled here, and that is white guilt. And white people have money, so you got to milk it out of them. And how you milk it out of them? You just tell them they're racist, and then they got to pay you. That's literally all this guy does. Somewhat genius. Terrible and immoral, but somewhat genius. So anyway, and I was going to get the owner, Robbie Gossman, on tonight. He actually contacted a mutual friend of mine that we have, and he was not happy about it, that I called him a coward, because he is a coward, and he wanted to come on the show tonight. And so our mutual friend said, reach out to him. So I did, and I never heard back. So if he wants to come on Thursday, he's welcome to. I also have Rayla Campbell on Thursday. So it's going to be a little booked. But if he wants to come on and explain why he's not a bitch, because let's face it, dude, what you did was fucking pathetic. It was pathetic, cowardly. It's worse than anything Bishop Talbert Swan could do. Well, maybe not anything he could do. But Bishop Talbert Swan is just running his grift, right? He would not run his grift if people like you weren't pussies. That's what you are, dude. You're a fucking pussy. I hate to say it. And I'll tell you that if you're on the show too. You can try to convince me otherwise, but what you did was a pussy, cowardly move. They do stuff like this because they know they can get that from you. If you didn't do it, then they wouldn't do it. So you're really the problem. There's nothing wrong with that fucking sign. You should have stood by it. And I hope I hope it's no longer a cop bar, because I got news for you, dude. Bishop Talbot Swan ain't coming down there for a beer. He might come once for a photo op or something. That's it. He's not coming back. Your regular customers, those cops, they're not coming back. At least I wouldn't go back. But I have sources in the police. I've been told everybody in the Springfield Police Department reads these blogs. I mean, they were aware of them right away. My Springfield contact immediately contacted me about it. He's like, everyone's buzzing about this like 10 minutes after it was written. They're not coming back to your bar, dude. You made a huge mistake. You should put that goddamn sign back up. And you should put another press release that says, fake Bishop Talbert Swan can go fuck himself. That's what you should say. Justin Hurst, that fraud who is pretending, who allowed the city clerk to call the chief of police a bitch. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Who allowed that to happen and then pretended to believe her lie, even though he knows exactly what she was doing. She wasn't talking to her cousin. He knows that. Yeah, he should release a statement saying, fuck Justin Hurst, okay? Fuck Talbert Swan, and fuck gangbang and Adam Gomez. Fuck them all. You thought Worcester? I mean, I thought Worcester had some problems. This was like when I see stuff like this, I'm like, man, Worcester's not that bad. All we have is Sawyer Rivera. That's it. She's our resident lunatic. They got a whole. We don't have gang members on the city council, at least, right? So at least we're not Boston either. We don't have fucking Michelle Wu, and there's a lot of them in Boston. I'm like, the more I see these other cities around here, I'm like, man, Worcester's not so bad for a city. It's not so bad here. It gets a lot fucking worse in Worcester. So anyway. So carrying on with this. So here he is. He wants Cheryl Clapperud, who seems like a really good police chief, stands up for officers. He wants her to resign. But she was actually willing to meet with him. She went out and talked to these protesters who were just the biggest cocksuckers. They don't want to get along with her. You know, they're just questioning her and grilling her. They're not trying to meet with her in good faith or anything like that. They're giving her a hard time. And she's like, look I set up a meeting. He didn't want to come. He didn't come. You're the Pied Piper you're following around. Talbert Swan didn't want to come because he knows there's no money in it. He's not looking for solutions. These people need racism. They need it. They want it. If Talbert Swan woke up in a world tomorrow where there was no racism, how the fuck would he make money? You tell me that. Talbot Swan, you tell me yourself, how the fuck would you make money without racism? And let's be honest, without Trump, you do quite well for yourself because Trump is in office. It gives you something to whine about every day. So here he is with Richie Neal, which I'm surprised he's even with Richie Neal because Richie Neal is the quote unquote moderate Democrat out there. He is the first congressional district representative from Massachusetts. He's been there since the beginning of time. And he has a challenger this time. His challenger is Alex Morse, the bold, brave, and beautiful homosexual mayor of Holyoke, social justice warrior extraordinaire, endorsed by the Justice Democrats and AOC, and has a lot of money behind him. And he's going after Richie Neal because I guess Richie Neal's not radical enough for him. But I'm surprised. I mean, Talbert Swan, the fact that he's still associating with Richie Neal tells you that he thinks he's going to go wherever the money is. So he's like, he thinks Richie Neal's going to win. So he's just going to, keep taking pictures with him. Elizabeth Warren, there she is again. Do you think Elizabeth Warren has ever vetted anything these people say? No. They're just like, okay, who's the leader of the black community? Whoever that is, I need to meet with them. I need to take a picture with them because they deliver the black vote. They go in front of their pastor. They go in front of their church and they say, vote for Elizabeth Warren. Okay, that's it. So that's how politics works. The ministers in major American cities are probably the most important voting block you can get. I don't know how many people out there watch The Wire. I keep making references to this, right? But even in The Wire, right, it was depicted that there's nobody more important that you need in your corner than the ministers. You need them, right? And if the minister is a con artist piece of shit like this, your city's in serious trouble. I hate to break it to you. So, yeah. Moving on. There she is meeting with him. Oh, yeah, by the way, so he's friends with all these liberals, but he also wrote a book called Closing the Closet, Testimonies of Deliverance from Homosexuality, a best-selling novel about, you guessed it, conversion therapy. Basically, teaching the gay away. And he has not apologized for this book. He has not disavowed it. He still sells it. He still makes money off of it. He still believes it. That is another secret that they don't want you to know, that they don't want you to talk about. There's a reason that Pete Buttigieg won Iowa, and I think he got second in New Hampshire. Did very well in those states. Then he went to South Carolina, and he got murdered and his campaign ended. That was the end of Pete Buttigieg. Well, Pete Buttigieg is gay. We know that. Iowa has a lot of white people. New Hampshire has a lot of white people. South Carolina, Democratic Party, a little more diversity down there. And what do you know it? Pete Buttigieg fucking bombs. What is the connection here? It's like the thing you're not supposed to talk about, but I'll just come out and say it. There's no more socially conservative voting bloc than black men. They are the most conservative, socially conscious people in the United States of America. They are still to this day the most opposed to homosexual marriage, right? To transgenderism. They are literally they are the biggest defenders of it. Like, follow Tariq Nasheed on Twitter, and you'll see exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. That is the thing, the elephant in the room that nobody talks about. And Bishop Talbert Swan, I'm sure, does not believe in gay marriage. I'm quite sure. But yet he's constantly throwing words out like homophobia, right? Accusing other people of being homophobic, like multiple times. Oh, shockingly, he fell for the Jussie Smollett. He fell for the Jussie Smollett hoax, which he called an act of homophobia, a homophobic attack. Of course, it didn't happen. But that's the kind of thing that he falls for, you know? You think he gives a shit if it's real or not? No, he's like, this is usable. So there's that. He had a little powwow with a bunch of black leaders and Alyssa Milano, of course, because she's an expert in these sort of things about race relations. So he's respected. He's respected in these communities. And before I continue, let me just refresh the donos. I don't want to miss anyone if you donated. Let me shout out real quick to our sponsors tonight. Anonymous, who says, congratulations. Oh, look, I made the Boston Herald. Can we go to this real quick? I'll come right back to that. I didn't even get a chance to see this. Hold on one second. I'll switch to that screen. That show up? Okay, so this is the first time I'm seeing this. Let's see what it says. Black Republican horrified and absolutely terrified after Boston activists' vulgar video attacks her interracial relationship. Ooh, juicy. Monica Cannon Grant. A newspaper wrote about this, folks. The Boston Herald. See, this is big. This is important. Because once one mainstream media outlet writes about it, they can ignore me. They've always had that luxury to ignore me. The Boston Herald, even though it's, our JV newspaper in Boston, it's not what it used to be. It's still the Boston Herald. People will see this now. And the Globe now must take notice of this. Now the ball is in the Boston Globe's court because other media outlets will pick this up. Mass Live will probably pick this up. Some smaller newspapers, television channels, stuff like that. They'll talk about it. So let's see what it says. A black Republican who's challenging Ayanna Pressley says she's fled her Randolph home in fear for her life after a Boston activist went viral. Why they went viral? Obviously, we know why. Questioning the woman's blackness, making crude references to her sex with her white husband. This is the racism to the ultimate level. Racism is racism no matter where it comes from. Yes, go Rayla. I was horrified and absolutely terrified. I had to uproot my family and just stay elsewhere. In a Friday video widely disseminating by the blog Turtleboy. Okay. By the blog Turtleboy. Does he link it? They don't fucking link it. Are you kidding me? How hard is it to put a fucking link in there? When I write a story about this, I'll put a fucking link in it. And it's not Turtleboy, sir. It's TB Daily News. Very appropriate. Very sophisticated. Roxbury community activist Monica Cannon Grant repeatedly calls her a heifer and made frequent crude references to her white husband. Excellent. Anything else to talk about in here? She's running. She wants apologies from Cannon Grant, Pressley, and U.S. Representative Joe Kennedy, who also has touted Cannon Grant's support in the U.S. Senate run. But the two members of Congress did not respond to requests for comment. That's how you do it, Rayla. That's how it's fucking done right there, right? That's what I'm talking about. This is where Republicans need to do more. Demand that the leaders who associate with these piles of trash disavow. I'm not a big disavow guy, but you play the game that they wish you play. Like you play in the playing field of their choice. They play disavow. You must disavow if you're associated with anyone bad. Disavow. I've had to disavow fucking commenters and say well, the commenters, I disavow the comments that say racist things. I disavow. So why shouldn't Joe Kennedy and Ayanna Pressley? So they can ignore me, but ignoring the Boston Herald, that's a little bit more ballsier. But again, Globe's got to get on it now. Rollins has quickly distanced herself from the video, telling the Herald and Campbell herself that the attacks on her family are deeply inappropriate. Yes. Rachel Rollins, tell you one thing. I don't really care for her politics at all. She's fucking good, man. Not like a good politician. Like, I don't like her politics. But she knows what the fuck she's doing. This lady, she knows what the fuck she's doing, man. She knows the line she can cross and the line she cannot cross. She's completely anti-police. Again, I don't like her at all. I would prefer somebody else be the district attorney. But she goes on Howie Carr. She goes on Tucker Carlson. Her office wrote me a fucking letter two weeks ago, disavowing that crazy chick who was going to Boston police homes and taking pictures of them. So, I mean, and that's the difference between a Rachel Rollins and an Ayanna Pressley and Joe Kennedy, who just pretend like they didn't see it. Rachel Rollins gets out there and she disavows. Good, but that's big, man, because Monica Cannon Grant has been a huge pusher for Rachel Rollins, even though she didn't like her at first because Rachel Rollins' father is white, and so her mother rides white penis, so we know how she feels about white penis. But at this point, Monica Cannon Grant is going to feel stabbed in the back. So good for the Herald for reaching out to them for comment. So Cannon Grant, a longtime anti-violence advocate in Boston who received plaudits in a glowing Globe profile. Yes, giving it to the Globe after she organized a mammoth BLM rally in Franklin Park last month. Didn't respond to multiple requests for comment on Tuesday. Ooh, it's caving, girl. On Monday, her organization's Facebook page posted a statement criticizing the Turtleboy blog, and call me white nationalist, and highlighting several deeply racist messages she said she received. She probably sent those to herself. Rollins confirmed that she called Campbell to check on her and condemn the video. The DA said she told Campbell, who she said she's never met before, that she had nothing to do with the video. Good for her. Public attacks that go after innocent family members and children are a bridge too far. I have not watched the video that Monica made, but I am told that it makes references to Rayla's husband, his race, and intimate aspects of their relationship. How is this relevant to a candidate's electability, policy, and platform? It isn't. When someone chooses to love and the people they call family are deeply personal and completely off limits during campaigns. In the video, Cannon Grant made repeated graphic references to her interracial sexual relationship. I thought we as a people have gotten past it. Man, this is a good fucking article, man. Good for the Herald. That is a good fucking article. So anyway, thank you to Anonymous who donated money and put that as a comment. Thank you. KB says donation to the prayer breakfast. Thank you. Sean Hume says nothing, but thank you. And did I miss anyone here? Yes, a couple more since then. We also have Suzanne says, hoping the AP picks up the Turtleboy story. Turtleboy to hit the MSM. We'll see. We'll see. So let's go back to the story at hand, shall we? Okay, so here we are. All right, so anyway, back to Talbert Swan, who is the Western Mass version of Monica Cannon Grant. He insists that he's paying his fair share in taxes, even though, just like Cannon Grant, it's very clear that he's not. He's been investigated. He also owns a nonprofit. These people always own a fucking nonprofit, and it's never registered with the Attorney General's office, just like Monica Cannon Grant's, because they're allowed to. There's rules don't work for them, because when you yell racism, the rules don't fucking apply to you. I learned this with Mosaic when I started exposing Mosaic, that fraudulent nonprofit out of Worcester 5 years ago, and they did the same shit. They weren't registered. They weren't filing their annual reports. They were stealing money from the taxpayers. And they had no defense because they knew it was all true. And the only thing they could do is say, you're coming after us because we're black. That's all they could say. You're coming after us for black. First of all, I don't go after people because they're black. I go after you because you're the loudest person in the room. If you just shut the fuck up, you wouldn't even get on my radar. You could have your grift. Like if Mosaic Cultural Complex had just fucking, pretended to do healthcare work for black men and nothing else, then they could have kept the grift going. But they had to organize protests, didn't they? And they had to call the cops racist. And then I'm on to you. So Talbert Swan and Monica Cannon Grant, same shit. Same shit. I wasn't even on Monica Cannon Grant until she made that fucking video about Rayla. Anyway, So he claims that, nothing, he doesn't reply to comment about that, about his nonprofit, all this stuff. The checks keep coming from State Senator James Welch, who is being challenged by Adam Gomez in Springfield. He drives around, his wife and him drive a BMW and a Mercedes, respectively. And I know as a fact that he collects welfare. How do I know this? Well, my source, I've got a guy who's been begging me to write about Talbert for a couple months now, and I've been putting it off. And back during the COVID thing, the guy was like all over, saying, don't go out. The usual Democratic talking lines about COVID. Well, he's like, this guy's holding fucking, prayer services regularly, like dozens of, I see cars outside. So he sends me the video in like early May of, he drives by the church and there's all these cars there and there's clearly a mass going on inside, and churches were not, quote unquote, reopened yet. The church in Worcester was getting fined because of that. Now, the reason I didn't include that video in the blog is because there's no timestamp on it. So if I showed you that video now, he could either say, well, that video is from 2 weeks ago, not 2 months ago. But I know it is a fact, he was doing it there. And the guy who sent me the video happens to have an occupation that made him aware of the fact that this guy is using a government program that you only qualify for if you make less than a certain amount of money. So clearly he is hiding money, and he's driving around. Him and his wife are driving around in nice cars, new cars, dresses comfortably. He dresses like a pimp. I mean, dude, keep a lower profile. Like, who the fuck are you dressed like this? This is like a parody of fucking the church. What is this outfit? Good Lord. Good Lord. I should go to a mass there sometime. I'm going to sit in on one of his masses. Do they do communion? Do Protestants do communion? I want him to serve me the body of Christ. Do they do that? I don't know. Or is that just us Catholics? I don't know. Anyway, since this guy is so obsessed with Trump's tax returns, I would urge him to, turn his over. He likes to talk about that a lot. But more importantly, this guy, what really got to me was the child support shit. This is the ultimate Trump card I had with him. He's constantly calling out deadbeats on his page, right? Like, here's some things. I linked, if you click on the link, it's all the times that he's used the word deadbeat on Twitter, and it's a lot. I needed advice. I need advice from a white supremacist jackass like you about how to fix the black community, like I need a bra. Go get your cousins before they shoot up another school, theater, or church. See, that's racist. That's fucking racist. You're saying, like, you're white, so therefore you're going to be a school shooter. Then get your uncles off the child support most wanted lists. Dear deadbeat, instead of talking smack about your ex-wife or ex-girlfriend's father, how about calling him this Christmas and saying, thank you for taking care of the child that I, with my trifling self, won't take responsibility for. That's a very interesting tweet. Very interesting. Then he accuses the white community of having more deadbeat dads and being addicted to opiates. All this stuff about, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Unfortunately for him, the Registry of Deeds keeps track on every time you've had a lien placed against you. And it's happened quite frequently to the good reverend. For instance, in 1991 and 92, this is 28 years ago, he had liens placed against him totaling $6,500 for child support twice. Non-payment. So they came after him for that, and they got it. Then he ended up in jail for larceny. He appealed it. He lost Commonwealth versus Talbert Swan. So he forgot to mention that. Oh yeah, I'm an ex-con. Forgot to mention. I mean, shocking that the guy's been in fucking jail for larceny of all things. Larceny. You know who else has been in jail for larceny? Kylie Kirkpatrick. But she's white, so she can't use the race card. Except with her son. But I mean, it's always the same script, isn't it, guys? It's like these guys, they're never good people. Yeah, I don't pay child. I mean, it's like so fucking predictable. I don't pay child support. It was the same with Mosaic. Remember? That whole thing was a big scam to help Robert Alston, aka Bouchamik, pay off his goddamn child support. He owed so much of it. So Brendan Jenkins gave him a job he didn't have to show up for. Oi. So then in 2002, he gets another lien placed against him for child support, I believe. That's what this one is. And so I confront him about it on Twitter. And I'm like, he sure got quiet there. I posted his fucking 80. This was only a $4,000 one. He goes, desperate turtle boy. I see. It's a release of a lien, which means it's been paid. You suck at this, boy. And it's been 28 years. That might be one of the most fantastic cell phones I've ever seen in my life. Talbert Bishop. You're bragging about being released from your lien because it's been paid. Oh, how about this? How about you just don't ever get a lien against you? It's not normal to get a fucking lien put on you for child support. And paying off something that a court ordered you to do because they were going to seize your assets if you did not is not something you should pat yourself on the back for. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. That's not like, you want a fucking cookie, Talbert? You bitch ass fake fucking reverend. Yeah, nobody's ever fucking called you out on this, huh, Talbert? You're used to all the Trump pansies on Twitter. You're used to the ignorant vote, right? That you want them to say something racist to you so you can be like, retweet them and be like, oh, look at this. Everybody's racist out there. You're not used to intelligent people like myself who will dig on you and find the fucking truth about you and put it together in a respectable way that will make you look like the con artist that you and I both know that you are. You're not used to this, are you, Talbert, huh? Because you know Mass Live ain't going to do this shit. You've been used to that. You know those politicians ain't going to do shit because you just call them racist, won't you? But good for you. You paid off your lien. And it's 28 years. So it's a 28-year rule. So it's all fucking forgiven now because it's 20 years. Except it's happened much more frequently than that. And oh, yeah, by the way, of course, his son's a rapper. Here's one of his sons. Check out this song.
I can't dance, no. I can't dance. I can't dance, no. I can't dance. I can't dance, no. I can't dance. I can't dance.
54 seconds of this.
When I hit my two-step, it look like I got two left toes. I can't dance, no.
I mean, if your son has a burgeoning rap career, you've completely failed as a parent. But at least this one he actually seems to have raised. I mean, he literally pulled a Kate Peter, it sounds like. The kids that he never paid for are like, what, 30-something now? So, you know, let the first two were a practice test run. It's just so funny. He was literally calling out deadbeat dads 5 fucking minutes ago. It's so fan. You can't make up this kind of hypocrisy. So this is a release of a lien in 2009. Now, I did a little research on how you get released from a lien because I was a little confused. It does not mean that you paid it off. He's like, I was released from a lien. It doesn't mean that you paid it off. It can mean a number of things. I've been told by some people that if you just ignore it for 10 years, it goes away automatically. I cannot confirm that. However, I do not think he fucking paid this off. There's no evidence he paid this off. But this lien in 2009, which was assessed in 2002, was for $81,656.89. $81 fucking $1,000 owed in child support. I don't think he wrote a check for that. Something tells me that. Something tells you that. He's got like 5 or 6 that he, takes credit for today. I don't know how old these other guys are, but he's got a shitload. The Reverend, he doesn't like rubbers. What can you do? You don't like rubbers. Who does? But he really doesn't like rubbers. But, not paying child support isn't the only bill he likes to ignore. He also has liens placed against him for various things. I don't even know what this one's for. This one was for, income tax. Just didn't pay his taxes. How about that? What are the odds? Didn't pay his taxes. It was $4,300, had a lien. Had a car seized from 2006 from Ford. Normal. What do you owe on that one? Like, that was 12 grand. Yeah, 12 grand he owed on that one. His wife, equally scummy, Cynthia Davis, a.k.a. Cynthia Swan. And her scummy lawyer, attorney Marjorie Hurst, who's infamous in the 413 for representing scumbags like this. She decides that she doesn't want to pay back her. Oh yeah, by the way, so she recently took out a mortgage. That's what I'm looking at right here for $108,000 using her maiden name. And this is in 2019. Now, why would she be doing that? Almost like the same reason that you would rename your kid Ryan Coyote, even though it's not his name, because you got bad credit. It's an age-old trick. I mean, you heard Monica Cannon Grant in that racist rant about Rayla, right? She goes, "Go ahead, girl, get your credit score." Like, this is not uncommon. Everybody knows that's how you fix your credit. You come up with a new fucking name. Boom, new credit line. This Talbert Swan. I mean, I kind of feel bad. Look at Jesus Christ. Good Lord. If he doesn't keep her happy, she's going to swallow him. Good Lord. Oh, holy Medea. Cynthia likewise had a judgment placed on her for $7,300. Normal. Runs in the family. 2015, they seized his land because he owed the state $6,000. This is like 3 years ago. 2009, debt collector gets $4,000 from him. 2007, another debt collector gets $1,200 from his wife. And oh yeah, when the tornado came to Springfield in 2011, it must have damaged his church because he signed a contract with contractors saying he's going to get $275,000 worth of work done. And he fell $47,000 short, I want to say. And he lost in court to them. I don't know if he ever paid it off. Probably not. I tried to reach out to the guy that he owed money to. I couldn't reach him. They're in Texas. But it was just wild shit. So I love stories like this, guys. I live for stories like this. I live to expose people like Talbert Swan. And you know you're winning, right? And I'll show you how. Let me go to the Twitter. So first of all, he blocked me. He was chirping at me all day. And as soon as I started throwing out those goddamn child support payments, he's like, oh shit, no one's ever done this before. Party's over. I poked the turtle, so he went ahead and he blocked me. But the thing about blocking is, like, I can still see your shit. So I'm on an account right now, an old account that's been disabled. You can still go on the accounts. You just can't do anything on them. You don't have any followers or anything like that. So I can go on here and I'll just go to @RealUncleTB. Show you what he said. What he said here. Actually, let's go to Talbert Swan's page. There is the blue check mark. Here's what he says. Oh, did he delete it? Oh, did this bitch ass delete and retreat? He deleted. I'll show you what he wrote in a minute. Oh, this fucking pussy. He makes it too easy. Or maybe he didn't. This is what he writes. I love the fact that I trigger white supremacists. It affirms that I'm doing and saying the right things. This is the exact same thing that they always do that Monica Cannon Grant did in her video the other day. It's like, oh, white supremacists are attacking me. That's all they can fucking do. It's their whole grift. Making the devil mad is righteous work. What a fucking con artist. Oh my God. You got to respect it. Y'all didn't have any problem wearing masks when you were burning crosses on our lawns and lynching us. Bitch, nobody burned a cross on your lawn. Nobody lynched you. You grew up fine. Your life was good. You make a lot of money off of the racism industrial complex. Ain't nobody burning crosses on your lawn, bitch. Ain't nobody lynching you. Yeah, black people in the South, 100 years ago, 60 years ago, they went through some shit. They did. You didn't. You're a fucking pussy. John Lewis is a hero. He actually fucking fought on the front line. Fuck did you do, bitch ass? You sat in fucking Springfield. And you bought jewelry. And you married a fat fucking heifer of a wife. Talk about heifer. And the two of you fucking drive around in BMWs and shit. And you make money off of stupid white people. Oh, I see you, though, Talbert. I see you, Bishop. So there he is, tweeting about Trump. Retweets about Kanye. Why are white supremacists such cowards? I'm in his head, folks. I'm in his head. Telling people don't eat Goya. I can't believe he deleted it. Did he really delete it? Oh, this motherfucker deleted it. Oh, I got it. Let's go. I screenshotted it though. Let's go see what it said. Shall we? At Real Uncle BB. Are you gonna like this one? So here he is. He has deleted this tweet. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know if I can zoom in. It doesn't let you zoom in. But it says right here, make this full screen. It says, so Aidan Kearney, at Real Uncle TB, intimidating behavior towards a young woman at a Patriots Buffalo Bills game triggered an investigation by school officials at Shepherd Hill, resulting in his forced resignation. What a perverted bully. So once they bring up the Clive McFarland article, guys, I love it. It's, you might as well wave a white flag. You've lost. Like not only have you lost, you've given up. You're not even attempting to refute anything that I said in that blog because you know, and I know that it's all fucking true. You are a tax evading charlatan. And I called you out on it. Right. And that's why you're deflecting and you're like making shit up. Right. Intimidating behavior towards a one woman. Nah, that actually never happened. Never happened. And unlike you, Talbert, I have documents that can back up my accusations. What you got? What you got? You got an opinion blog from a salty columnist who's been fired from his job. He didn't talk to anybody, witnesses there. He's made shit up. His lone source was buffalobruises.com, which doesn't even fucking exist anymore because it was sued for libel and had a $40,000 judgment placed against it. It doesn't even fucking exist. That's your source, right? So you've lost. You're admitting defeat. Triggered an investigation by the school officials at Shepherd Hill, resulting in his forced resignation. Ain't nothing forced, dude. They paid me. I published a blog a month ago showing the entire separation agreement between the school and me. You got nothing, dude. You got fucking nothing. You're weak. And then he goes to the next tweet. Racist, vile, white supremacist. Now just, that's all I can do. That's all I can do. Just throw those words out there. They mean fucking nothing. They mean nothing. That's the beauty of like overusing these words. They no longer have meaning to them. Aidan Kearney referred to Black and Latino children as a bunch of savages and said they were being raised by savages. Yes, I said that students at North High School who were literally being arrested for assaulting their principals and teachers were savages and animals because they are. And guess what? Most of those students were white. So yeah, I called a lot of students that, most of whom were white. I'm very racist against white people. I readily admit it on here. I not a fan of the mayonnaise dripping people, as the good Reverend would call them, mayonnaise dripping. So he writes that, and I noticed down in, now check out, this is really small, so you guys probably can't see it, but 2 replies, 204 retweets, and only 43 likes, and only 2 replies. That is not a normal ratio. Now, normally how a ratio works is the most people, you're going to get more likes than anything else because it's so fucking easy for anybody to just hit a like button. Boom. It takes no effort to hit the like button. Hitting retweet is a lot more work because now you're endorsing it. You're speaking for it. It's less common. So to see 5 times the amount of retweets as likes, a little bit fucking odd. So I think this is strange. And I'll show you. Let me show you here. No, where'd it go? Because I wanted to see who those 204 people are. And I sent Laura this message. And I sent, okay, here it is. Let me switch this up. Is that it? You guys see that? These are the people who have retweeted it. I'm like, look at them. Maria, Helen. Look at all these eggs. They don't even have profile pictures. None of them. Like, check this out. Look at these people. Vladimir Derkachev retweeted it. Dorothy Carroll. This guy's got the same audience as Bristol Blarney. They're not fucking real. They're all bots. These are obviously not real people. The guy's got 160,000 people to reply. Two. But all these Russians retweet it, and I clicked on every single one of them. None of them have any followers. They all have like long numbers at the end of their name. And the only thing that any of these accounts have retweeted is Bishop Talbert Swan. That's it. He made a bunch of fucking bot accounts. That's how pathetic this guy is. Pathetic. Oi. I can't wait to roast him after this in a blog. It's going to be so good. So anyway, he surrendered. I win, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep busting this guy's ball. I swear to God, I'm going to his church. I'm going to do a blog. I'm going to his fucking mass. I'm going to find out what day Sunday mass is, and I'm going. And maybe we can make a field trip out of it. I don't know if anybody, you guys out there are feeling like the power of Christ or anything like that. I am. I'm feeling the power of Christ. It compels me to go to Springfield and sit in on one of his masses. And I don't know if we've got a ruling yet on the body of Christ, if that's a Protestant thing or if that's just a Catholic thing. Even if it's not the body of Christ, I'll set whatever they do. I'll sing the songs. I'm down. I want to go to confession. Wait, is that only a Catholic thing too? I don't know. But we're going to Sunday. What day is Sunday Mass? What time, North Shore, is Sunday Mass at whatever church, the name of this church is, this fake church? I want to go. I'm going. We're going. We're all going to Sunday Mass. And then we're going to live stream it. It's going to be fucking awesome. Because this guy, you can't hide from me, Bishop Talbert. I'm going to find you. And that ain't a threat. That's a thing. That's like a friendly thing. Like, we're going to have a talk, me and you. We're going to converse about theological topics and whatnot. All right. North Shore loves church. Oh, no, you don't. You stop that. All right. Anyway, you guys, all right, ask away if you guys have any questions. Fire away. I'll answer as many as I can. Ooh, good show tonight. A lot of good audience. A lot of people stayed here the whole time. Didn't fluctuate. I'll be on Jerry Callahan again tomorrow, guys, by the way. Again, we have some more donos. Just want to read out. 7 Pounder says race hustling needs to be exposed. Follow the money. Shout out to Prestige Motors in Malden. Who is your favorite 6 p.m. local news reader? Shayna Malayer is a babe. I don't do 6. I do 6:30 news, man. I do the national news. And I don't really like any of them, to be honest with you. Can I get a Turtleboy baseball cap like yours? Adam says. Some Turtle Rider specialty made these for me, and I can't make them. I can't reproduce them. I have no idea who made. Somebody sent them to my house. I don't even know who. It was somebody with a fake name, and I can't reach them now. Emily also donated. No comment, but thank you, Emily, very much. Okay. Any questions you guys have? We'll answer as many as I can. Golf tournament. Yeah, I'm talking to the woman who runs Wachusett Country Club. I don't know how weekend. The thing about a golf tournament is weekends would probably work best for most of you guys, but seems like that's hard to do with these places. So, and I don't know what turnout would be on like a weekday. I'd love to do a Turtle Boy golf tournament, but we'll see. Can I call the bishop? Nah, his bitch ass blocked me, so I can't reach out to him. But I'll keep working at it. You got email list. Yes. So I got a couple Turtle Riders, been fucking solid with that. Shout out to, she asked me not to say her name, but she did a great job putting together a nice little list. So I much appreciate that. I want to finish the Monica Grant series before I come up with an email blast to send, because I want all the truth out there first. I got more in this bitch. Trust me. There's more. So stay tuned with that. Why not go to Boston? Because Talbert Swan's not in Boston. Okay, so golf tournaments are mostly on Mondays. Interesting. How many times have you got arrested in a van? Oh, Alina's here. Hi, Alina. How you doing? You doing some disco in the living room with your criminal son? Does he still have the ankle bracelet on? Burning cop cars lately? That's good. Just don't hit him with a shoe, please. You got in trouble for that once already. Once is enough. Did you get the address that his wife took the mortgage on? No, not yet. I'm still working on that. Still working on that. Leah went to the beach today. Is officially a brown person. Oh, don't do that. Don't take any pictures. Could be interpreted the wrong way. Congrats on making it to the Boston Herald. Thank you. I'm the goop to female. Here you go. Any other questions or anything? Sorry, they're going kind of fast. Yeah, smash that like button. How many likes we got so far today? $84. We got 160 people watching right now. We got 16 more people. We'll get 100 likes on that. All right. MSGS. I don't know what that is. No kidding. The bishop is in Boston. Go after Presley or Grant. Well, Presley's in Washington, so I can't do that there. And Congress, she's kind of a big deal. She's not really accessible. Like Monica Crane and Grant could be accessible, I suppose. But I fucking hate going to Roxbury. Opinion on the New Jersey judge on the Epstein case. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily related to the Epstein thing. Her son was killed. It was assumed that it'd be a hit on her, but the lawyer who did it had business non-related to Epstein, but we'll see. You never know with them. But Trump stuck his foot in his fucking mouth again, huh? But Ghislaine, he wishes her well. That's what he said today about that fucking, the madame for Jeffrey Epstein. He wishes her well. The fuck is wrong with this man? I've been defending Trump for like 3.5 years, and I will still vote for Donald Trump, and I want Donald Trump to win. But I swear to God, he's trying to lose. He's trying to fucking lose. Why the fuck would you ever say that? What is wrong with you? Just let the blonde talk. The hot blonde, Kaylee. Let her talk. She's great. She knows what the fuck she's doing. Just let her talk. Trump should just shut the fuck up until, like, that's the Biden plan, is shut the fuck up. And it might work. I would love to have Rachel Rollins on for an interview. I mean, I hate to admit it, man. She's good. She knows what the fuck she's doing. What is your thought about the DCF accountability? Is that what somebody asks? I don't know enough about it to comment, to be perfectly honest with you. What was Trump? See, this is the shit that pisses me off. What was Trump supposed to say? Don't be like the left. Okay, first of all, he was composed and respectful. That's not being like the left. Like, he's on my fucking team. That's like saying if your quarterback kept throwing interceptions and you're like, maybe our quarterback should, stop throwing interceptions. You'd be like, oh, don't be like, what are you, a Jets fan? You're a fucking Bills fan? No, I just want my quarterback to stop throwing fucking interceptions. Jesus, you Trump sycophants. Your inability to give any constructive criticism is going to be the death of this fucking party. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? What 4 years of fucking Joe Biden is going to be like? The first thing that's happening is RBG will resign and he will pick her replacement. And the replacement will get through because they will also control the fucking Senate too. Open your fucking eyes. This is a national emergency. The lunatics, the radical left, is trying to take over the fucking country, and you idiots who don't let us fucking criticize the president are pretending that everything is fucking fine. It's not. Stop pretending that everything is fucking fine. Something needs to fucking change, okay? Enough of this Trump apology fucking bullshit. Get your fucking shit together. That's my rant about that. That's my point about that. Enough. I cannot stand the Trump apologists. I really fucking fear the radical left. Like, you don't understand. and they will maintain power. They'll get fucking power if he keeps saying shit like that. Anyway, anything else? I guess there's my rant. Now, any more questions you guys have? I like Trump. I voted for Ross Perot. You're a lot older than me, 7-pounder. I was a child when Ross Perot was around. Trump is sick of this dying country. I agree, and he should do more about it, quite frankly. Keep sending the military into cities, man. So my buddy, all right, you guys, a friend of mine, my senior class president. Let me show you this picture. Check this out. Go to my Facebook page. So obviously, in cities across the country, the left is all mad because the military's gone in, and they're doing the job that the president is supposed to do. Let me pull it up here. They're doing the job that mayors traditionally do in making sure anarchists don't come over and shit like that. Okay, so check this out. So this is a thing put out by the Lincoln Project, which is a bunch of douchebag never Trumpers, and it's like they call it Trump's thugs. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I know that fucking face. I know that fuck. I think that's him. So I text the guy because he's military, and I text the guy. I'm like, is this you? Are they using you as they're calling you? Is this you? He's like, yeah, that's fucking me. He's like, I'm in Portland right now. In Portland, dealing with Antifa. And then AOC tweets out, the United States of America should not have secret police. And there he is fucking again. So this guy, I'm not going to say, he asked me not to say his name. He was actually everybody in Worcester knows this fucking guy. Everybody. Everybody knows this fucking guy. He was the most popular. He was voted most popular senior year. He was our senior class president. His nickname, we call him the Ghetto Scholar. He was also the punter of the football. We call him Poontash too. He once kicked a ball. He was the punter. We play in Millbury. The ball came to him. He missed the fucking snap. The ball starts bouncing the other way, and he tried to kick it into the end zone to get a safety, but he fucking whiffed. Just complete fucking whiff. They just took it in for a touchdown. That's a story about him. But he was our senior class president, but he's a good story, this kid, because he's from the ghetto, the worst fucking neighborhood in Worcester. Main South's asshole is where he grew up. 3 brothers and sisters, single mom, small little fucking apartment. I hated going to his fucking neighborhood because it's so fucking ghetto. Whenever you went there, ghetto shit fucking happened. People don't make it out of this neighborhood. This is where everybody else in that neighborhood today is either in jail or is dead. I can't, you don't make it out of this neighborhood. It's the worst fucking neighborhood in Worcester. And so he's really fucking smart though. And really friendly, doesn't stop. He's the biggest talker ever in my life. And, there he is now serving his fucking country. He is the American success story. He's also the prime example of how white privilege is a fucking myth. All these whiny cunts in Shrewsbury whining about, oh, I'm biracial in Shrewsbury. My life's so fucking hard in my father's $1 million home. Oh, yeah. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You had 1 million more privileges than this kid right here. And he turned out to be 1 million times better of a person than you are. So fuck off. So I don't even know how I got on that rant, but that's my rant on that. All right. Any other questions, guys? What's this one thing? Why is everybody voting one? Was there a vote? Oh, it's not. What the hell? Oh, it's not one. What the? Why is everybody writing one? It's so confusing. Do we want to fill me in? Oh, one to get rid of Alina. Oh, Leo wants. Okay, I see. Sorry, I missed that. There's some beef going on in the comments. Turtle beef. Has Howie eased up on Genduso yet? He didn't mention it in the last column. You know, I know Leah doesn't like that, and I feel bad for her every time she does, but not much I can do with that. I tended to broach the topic lightly with him, but, you know, I can't control Howie Carr. Let's face it. All right, any other questions you guys have before we call it a night? Alina really is our new Amanda Sawyer, huh? She's not as bad as Amanda Sawyer, though. Amanda Sawyer was fucking a true psycho. Like, Amanda Sawyer is crazier than Alina. I guess as crazy as Alina is, like, Amanda Sawyer is a fucking lunatic. Like, when she would just come on here and be like, my son dumped her! Fuck you! That was her biggest concern, was who dumped who in that relationship. It still amazes me. I think she's a lot more harmless than Amanda Sawyer too. Amanda Sawyer was just unfucking bearable, showing up for court dates. Oh, no, Ratchet Turtleboy celebrity boxing match to raise money. I'd do that. Rayla for writing. Yeah, Rayla, I'm going to have Rayla here on Thursday night. Really looking forward to that. I'm fucking pumped about this article in the Herald, man. So anyway, I should probably get to that and go write a couple blogs, call it a night. But all right, fellas and ladies, thank you guys for joining in and joining us. Thank you to all the donos out there. Really appreciate that as well. Keep that turtle running. And are you pro or con on the piped in crowd noise? Oh, I'm pro. I don't want them playing in silence. So did you find Wanda's Asians? Not yet. Nope, not yet. Maybe someday. So, all right, papitos. We will see you all on Thursday night. What's the question, Diane? What's the question? Diane says ignoring. Wait, what's up with Wanda? What's the update with Wanda? Was I ignoring you? Yes. So if there was a question there, I want to ignore Diane. Diane's a very, very, very good supporter. So she gets preference. I'm not going to lie. She gets to cut the line. And I will be on here tomorrow morning on the Jerry Callahan podcast as well. So you can't get enough of me this week, people. Papito. All right. Guess not. All right, guys. I will see you all on Thursday. Peace, Turtle Riders.